Celebrity skincare brands are still everywhere at the moment, but I do feel like 2026, we're going to start seeing them pull back. I feel like they're all going to go back into fragrance where they belong. But it does feel like almost every celebrity we know has at least tried to launch their own kind of skincare line in some recent years, or beauty line in general actually, with wildly varying degrees of success. Some of them have obviously done incredibly well, becoming some of the most talked about brands in skincare and beauty in general, like Rhode or even Kylie Skin. Even though we don't hear much about her anymore, her brand's still around and it's doing fine, whilst others seem to come and go without anybody even noticing. But today I want to talk about the celebrity skincare brands that just didn't make it, that may have briefly built up a tiny amount of buzz, but that ultimately died off pretty much as soon as they arrived, and ones that I personally definitely won't miss, even because I didn't even know they existed in the first place, or there just wasn't a place for them in the first place. What's going on with my hair? I think one or two of these you may know of, but some, like, I didn't even know existed. Like the first one, I'm actually going to start off with kind of somewhat of a trendsetter, apparently. Did you know that Demi Lovato was actually one of the very first celebrities in her generation to launch a skincare brand? I honestly had no idea this existed, and as far as I can tell, hardly anyone else knew about it either. But Demi Lovato actually released their own skincare brand, Devonne by Demi, all the way back in 2014. This was like well before the massive wave of celebrity skincare brands that we've seen in the last decade. She was ahead of the curve, I don't know, she was ahead of the times. And at the time, tons of celebrities were releasing perfumes, clothing lines, accessories. I feel like everyone had some sort of collection in Target that was just anything. But skincare wasn't a market that anybody really even tried to get into. And it does kind of sound stupid, like why is Demi Lovato launching a skincare line? But it was kind of a move at the time that made sense to a lot of fans, because Demi Lovato was all about kind of like makeup-free selfies for a long time. She posted a lot of these on her social media in the years before the launch as a way to promote self-acceptance, to embrace their natural beauty, and she's always been very open about mental health and everything like that. So to a lot of people, this kind of made sense, and it does kind of make sense, I think. So among their fans, they were known for promoting this kind of like positive skincare related message, as well as for having really nice skin without makeup. For a long time, fans were actually asking for Demi's skincare routine or tips on how to get skin that looked like theirs. Demi Lovato has also talked about how they've always been into skincare. Even as young as 8, they would apparently make DIY face masks in the kitchen after getting a book that taught you how to make your own treatments. I feel like this is the story that skincare celebrities always do when it comes to skincare. Like, I've always been passionate about skincare. I used to make my own face mask with my nanny. Like, my grandma, she passed down these recipes and we used olive oil and honey and avocado, you know? And that love of skincare just grew as they got older. I feel this rung a bell to me, because I do remember them somewhat being skincare adjacent and thinking, oh, like they're talking a lot about their skincare journey. So this kind of makes sense to me. And launching their own skincare line kind of does seem, well, it seemed like a good idea. But despite being early to the game and having already built a reputation for having very good skin, Devonne by Demi just wasn't going to be successful, unfortunately. Now, the initial launch was decent. It consisted of like very simple 3-step routine, like starter kit, I guess you could say, including a deep facial cleanser with lavender and chamomile, a hydrating radiance mist with sweet lemon and peppermint. This is probably why I didn't do very well. We'll come on to that. And a 3-in-1 moisturizing primer, which was very of the time, also with sweet lemon and peppermint. Now, this whole line was apparently, according to them, built around gentle ingredients with no sulfates or parabens and general focus on natural skincare. The formulas include ingredients like exfoliating rice extract, reishi mushroom extract, wakame seaweed, licorice root, and even goat's milk, which are all really, really nice ingredients. In an interview with Fashion Magazine, Demi said, "Like anybody else, I get my spots and pimples, clogged pores because I'm human." Celebrity being human? So I wanted to create a skincare line that could help with that, but also all natural. Now, you know me, the whole natural skincare thing is obviously a bit of a red flag for me, but to be fair, there are some people who use the products and said they were great, with some saying they were the only products that didn't make their sensitive skin flare up, which is crazy to me because of the lemon and peppermint. My skin goes crazy with anything menthol or minty the vast majority of the time, but they got pretty much positive reviews. Another positive was that some of the profits from the startup kit went to Leto Treatment Scholarship Program, which supports people dealing with mental health and addiction struggles. That was something that was very obviously to me important to Demi due to their personal connection to those issues, which she has made very, very public. So that's nice, that's interesting. But although there were some good things about the brand, there was also so much that could have been better. The name from the start, Devonne by Demi, isn't the catchiest brand name, is it? It sounds like it's trying to be fancy. And it's not. Even her fans weren't crazy about the name. Devonne is actually their middle name, so I see where it came from, but it just doesn't really work. It's kind of Devonne. Kind of sounds like a dairy brand, doesn't it? Like a yogurt. Ooh, with like, what is it? A bifidobacteriaris? I don't know what it's called. That stuff that makes you not shit yourself or regulates you shitting yourself. I can't remember. And the packaging wasn't that nice. Let me remind myself what this looked like. Yeah, horrible. It left quite a lot to be desired as well. It was giving local craft fair. It's giving startup brand. I make this in my kitchen. It actually kind of looks like a lot of the Japanese hair treatment packaging. And a lot of the marketing kind of graphics that they came up with, honestly, to me, it looked like some random shit you could buy off Temu and they just stuck Demi Lovato's face on it. It's very, very bad. It was awful. The worst aspect though was the business model that they used. Instead of just buying the products you wanted, Devonne by Demi was sold through this kind of like annoying, weird subscription model starting at $29.99 per month for the starter kit. So at the end of the month, you get another starter kit. I don't know, they followed up the initial launch with a clarifying mud mask and an acne rescue treatment, neither of which took off in any major way whatsoever. And then from there, they decided to branch out into things like body wash, essential oils, and even scented candles, which of course smelled like sweet lemon and peppermint. So it's giving like MLM without the MLM structure, like a little bit like, you know, do you remember, who was it? Fenty? The clothing? Was it Fenty? I just bought some pajamas one month and I didn't realize that I was paying a subscription for some reason. It feels like that, like it's tricking you to spending money monthly where you don't really need to. But those were the last attempts to make something of the brand, the candle and everything like that. But in reality, they probably just diluted the original messaging and made consumers confused about what to expect from Devonne by Demi. So it's not surprising that Devonne by Demi didn't exactly make the waves in the skincare industry that they thought it was going to. They had a good message, as a small audience that actually did love the products, but the brand just kind of like fizzled out. It just fizzled out. It rang a bell to me, but it was a very small, like kitty bell, like it was a very small bell. The brand's social media stopped posting in March of 2017 and the product stopped being restocked on the website. So less than 2.5 years after it was launched, Devonne by Demi was done. It was gone. I do think, however, the brand was a trendsetter in some ways, perhaps, but it's not a skincare brand that myself or others I think are gonna miss, mainly because no one even knew it existed. Now, Devonne by Demi's business model may have been a bit of a strange one, especially for the time, but this brand took it a step further when it comes to dodgy business models. Tyra Banks has been back all over social media at the moment for various reasons, and honestly, she's kind of now seen as a controversial figure, and there are a wide range of reasons for that. From her behavior on America's Next Top Model, including body shaming, perpetuating unrealistic beauty standards, and the allegations of emotional and mental exploitation of contestants. I mean, looking back on that show, what a fucking mess. I enjoyed it at the time, but oh my God. To whatever this hot ice cream thing is she's doing now in Australia, and she's got that wig on, that yellow wig. I wish we could talk more about this hot ice cream thing, because isn't hot ice cream just like melted ice cream? Like, what else could it be? And then she said that thing where she was like, whenever I eat something, I can instantly taste it. And everyone's like, well, I don't know. I hope she's okay. I hope she's okay. Anyway, the controversy relevant to this video is a little more serious than hot ice cream, and it's related to the beauty brand she launched back in 2014, Tyra Beauty. I do think she could have done this a lot earlier, but we'll come on to that. At first, Tyra Beauty, they really did just focus on makeup, which is probably why I didn't know it existed for a very long time. And it seemed to do reasonably well. Like, it wasn't blowing any minds, but Tyra was a fairly big name at the time, and there was a lot of marketing around the brand, and the products were okay quality, you know? And again, I feel like this was more of like a celebrity merch thing. Like, fans of her would generally pretty excited about what she was offering here. And things were going well enough that a couple of years later, Tyra decided to expand into skincare as well in October of 2016. And the skincare they were offering the products were a little bit different to what you might expect from an initial launch from a skincare brand. It included things like the Clean Machine, a multi-purpose cleanser with like a silicone scrubbing head attached. Interesting, it was supposed to act as both a makeup remover and a gentle exfoliator, very Japanese beauty. The Secret Weapon, which is a reusable microdermabrasion tool. The line also included a hydrating serum and sheet mask that was supposed to brighten and firm the skin. The names were all very Tyra, you know. She always, whenever she was thinking of something, it always had to rhyme, always had to have like a catchy name to it. But it was around this time that things really just kind of went downhill for Tyra Beauty. And it all came down to one thing. The fact that Tyra Beauty was actually built as an MLM. Initially, it was just sold normally through the website, but a few months after the launch, Tyra started experimenting with an MLM business model. And by September 2015, she was on an all-out recruitment drive for her MLM beauty empire, saying, "I am charged with shaking up the world of beauty. Anyone can join our crew of badass entrepreneurs and be the CEO of their own lives." Isn't that just ticking the box of every MLM kind of like message, you know, every MLM post, like, you could be the boss of your own life, spend more time with the kids and family, make money whilst you sleep. You've probably heard me and so many other people talking about MLMs over and over again by now, so I won't get into it much here, but you just need to know that it's basically a legal pyramid scheme that uses predatory sales tactics to get people to sign up as sellers with the promise that they'll be able to make a decent amount of money from selling the brand's products for them. It doesn't really work out for anyone but those at the top. And everyone else ends up making very little to no money and spending more money than they're actually going to make as well, because they always have to buy these initial startup kits. It's not a good look for any brand to start operating as an MLM, but a celebrity brand choosing this kind of business structure is just crazy. And Tyra Beauty went all in on the dodgy MLM sale tactics right from the start, with Tyra herself misleading people about graduating from Harvard Business School, making unsubstantiated claims about obtaining financial freedom through selling her products, and even shamelessly using her own mother's relationship and financial struggles to try and convince people to sign up as what she called beauty-tainers. That's not gonna catch on, Tyra. That's terrible. I do feel like she did so well with her career, and she kind of sees herself as this entrepreneur, and I guess she is. Technically, she has different businesses that pull in money, but it's almost like she's trying to always catch on to the next big thing. Hot ice cream, for example. If you do want to see a more in-depth dive into Tyra's beauty questionable MLM tactics, you can watch this video by Cruel World Happy Mind. Tyra Banks had her own MLM line, or you can watch this one by this person, if you want. Less than a year after Tyra Beauty went all in on the MLM structure, things started to fall apart for the brands. Loads of people complaining online about the questionable sales tactics and the predatory nature of MLMs, and even articles started coming out on respected news outlets, pretty much exposing the truth behind Tyra's dodgy business structure. Poor timing for her. Had she started like 5 years earlier, she might have been all right, but this was a time where people were really catching on to what MLMs were. I mean, it became its whole own genre on YouTube by this time, of calling them out and looking into the dodgy aspects of what they really are. Terrible timing. She should have done this when America's Next Top Model was happening. She would have been fine. I mean, is it still ongoing? I don't know. Anyway, so in May of 2017, Tyra finally realized that running a pyramid scheme wasn't a great idea and announced that Tyra Beauty was moving away from the MLM structure and going back to just selling products on their website. I can't breathe through my nose right now, so sorry if I'm a bit like, it's all blocked up. I don't have a cold, I just think it is cold, you know? But honestly, this didn't do much for Tyra Beauty. There was no coming back from this really. The brand's reputation had pretty much severely been damaged, and the move away from the MLM structure meant that the brand lost all its momentum, probably because the products were being mostly bought by the beauty-tainers and not real customers. And it just kind of failed. It just failed, ceased to exist. All social media presence seems to have disappeared, and the old websites have been taken over by her new ice cream venture, which hopefully she doesn't try turning into an MLM as well. Now, Demi Lovato I didn't know her skincare line existed, right? But this one I just plain forgot about because it was around for what felt like 2 minutes. This brand was around literally just a couple of years ago and I already forgot it existed. And this is Item Beauty by Addison Rae. Item Beauty launched in August of 2020, co-created by Addison Rae and a beauty incubator called Made by Collective. And like Tyra Beauty, at first it only offered makeup, but just 7 months later, the brand expanded, launching a new skincare line. And again, this is when skincare was already quite big on TikTok and a lot of people were starting to try and cash in on that. Item Beauty led heavily into the whole clean beauty branding, with all the products, both in makeup and skincare, being vegan, cruelty-free, and dermatologist tested, as well as all the trigger words that were popular at the time in the skincare world, avoiding synthetic fragrance, sulfates, parabens, phthalates, and mineral oil, all that stuff that doesn't really mean anything. The line was supposed to be suitable for all skin types and be accessibly priced so that the products were open to everyone, which is always a bit of a red flag for me. I don't know why. When the line launched, Addison Rae said, "My goal with our debut skincare line was to make it a great first step for young people and easy to use." That sounds good. And the initial lineup, from what I remember, wasn't too bad. They had Fast Pass, a gentle skin balancing cleanser containing botanical extracts like aloe leaf and cabbage rose flower, as well as naturally derived AHAs and sodium hyaluronate. Not terrible. Slick Type A, a replenishing cleansing balm that claimed to melt away makeup and dirt without stripping the skin. It contained natural emollients like olive oil, olive fruit oil, grapeseed oil, and rosehip oil to replenish the skin. Things that most like beauty cleansing balms use anyway. I hate saying these names, oh my god. Light Source, a lightweight gel moisturizer that aimed to hydrate and balance skin with glycerin, tiger grass extract, muru muru butter, and ceramides. Again, sounds really, really nice. Overdue, an intensive moisturizer containing tiger grass extract, argan oil, muru muru butter, and magnolia berry extract. Again, actually sounds very, very, very decent. And at first, Item Beauty seemed to be doing fairly well, with both the makeup and skincare lines gaining good enough attention from Addison's millions of fans and a little bit beyond. That's probably unsurprising, seeing as she was, from what I gather, one of the biggest influencers in the world at the time, possibly the biggest on TikTok. And it did look like things might take off for the brand when it got picked up by Sephora, launching both online and in Sephora stores in August of 2021. When I see a brand is going to Sephora, I'm like, how much longer are they going to have left? Because in Addison's case, that is when things took a turn for the worse. Despite this good initial excitement, Item Beauty couldn't take things to the next level, failing to see noticeable growth after the Sephora partnership. And the brand actually saw its social media following decrease the next year or so, most because Addison didn't seem interested in promoting the brand at all during this time. She just stopped talking about the brand altogether. And after September 2022, why did I say it like that? 2022, she had stopped posting about Item Beauty altogether, which seemed really, really strange to a lot of people, especially as the early promotion for the brand had talked up how involved she was in the product development and general brand decisions, which makes me question it. As I've already mentioned, I truly feel like maybe she was just a face and just okayed the final product. Understandably, there was a lot of speculation that she wasn't really involved much at all, but I wasn't alone in that speculation online. There was a lot of speculation about whether she was involved or not. Like so many other celebrities, she was just the face of the brand. But come on, like, this isn't exactly shocking, is it? Especially that Addison was only 19 when the brand first launched. She probably had so many other things to do. She was probably preparing for a successful music career, right? But whatever the reason, whatever it was, disagreements behind the scenes with Made by Collective, disappointing sales figures, or just because she was busy focusing on other aspects of her career, it seemed like Addison had lost interest in Item Beauty. She just didn't care anymore. And without her promoting it anymore, Sephora obviously lost faith that the brand would be able to improve its already underwhelming sales. So in January of 2023, the retail chain announced that they were pulling Item Beauty from their shelves. For a few months, actually, the products were still available online, but just while existing stock was kind of like sold off. So despite having a slightly better brand name, much better packaging, it was very Gen Z, and a huge influencer behind it, Item Beauty ended up lasting about the same amount of time as Devonne by Demi, only around 2.5 years. 2.5 years may not seem like a very impressive lifespan for a skincare brand, especially one backed by a celebrity, but it's an awful lot better than the brand which only managed to last an embarrassing 6 months. And to be honest, it's probably a good thing that this brand's lifespan was so short, because it's possibly one of the most bizarre attempts at a skincare brand made by any celebrity. It is, of course, we've talked about it before, 29 Palms by Jared Leto. As I mentioned, I talked about this one before, but I had to include it in this one because it might just be the worst celebrity skincare brand I've ever seen. Like, Brad Pitt's one is up there, but this was strange. Like, it was slightly strange. The inspiration, Jared Leto's inspiration for the brand, right, was the desert. Specifically, the Mojave Desert, known for its extreme heat and dry climate, right? It's not exactly something that screams skincare. Is it like, oh, our skincare is inspired by the driest place on earth? But I kind of get it. I get this kind of like, it'd be a good fragrance brand, you know? Like, I feel like I could smell it, I could feel it. But I don't want that on my skin. That's weird. Nevertheless, after meeting Jonathan Karen, an entrepreneur, I never say that right, entrepreneur, he bumped into Jared Leto at a party. Leto's desert skincare dream was born, with Leto and Karen becoming co-founders of 29 Palms Skincare. And the brand officially launched in October of 2022 with an absolutely crazy 11 product lineup of gender-neutral products, including a facial cleanser, an exfoliating solution, a moisturizer, hydrating serum, an eye cream, a clay mask, as well as other body care and hair care products to make it up to 11. And that was it. That was the high point, the kind of invention of the brand, them announcing the brand. That was it. That's as good as this would get. Things started to go downhill pretty much straight away. First of all, the prices for all the products were ridiculously high. They were crazy. With the clay mask and the eye cream getting the most criticism for coming in at $95 for 1.4 ounces and $97 for 0.42 of an ounce. Even for celebrity skincare, that is ridiculous. And on top of that, Jared Leto decided to make things even worse when, in his first interviews promoting the launch, he proudly stated that he had never really been interested in beauty products. That's not exactly what you want to hear from a brand founder who is charging you close to $100 for less than half an ounce of eye cream. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? It's entertaining for us, but as a brand founder, why would you say that? Unsurprisingly, the brand did not do well at launch or any time afterwards either. And just 2 months after the launch, Leto's co-founder, Jonathan Karen, decided to jump ship and get out before things got any worse, which they would. 3 months later, the brand's social media pages have stopped posting, with the brand reaching a pretty pathetic peak of 8,000 followers on Instagram. People's dogs have more followers than that on Instagram. That is ridiculous. Despite Jared Leto himself having over 12 million followers on his personal account. Like, it would have taken like a few posts for him to at least get 10,000 followers. Then a few weeks later, everything was sold out on the website, with all the products just listed as coming soon. But they never did come again soon. They never arrived again. They were never restocked, and there have been no updates from Leto or the brand. For some reason, the website is still up though, with nothing to sell, and the few customers the brand did ever manage to get can be seen complaining on the 29 Pilots Instagram page about being completely ignored by the brand's customer service team, people still trying to get refunds for faulty products or complaining because they had adverse reactions to the products. They've just not heard back anything. Now, the shit show that was 29 Palms' brief and turbulent history is enough to make it a brand I definitely won't miss because what the fuck? It's entertaining though. But when you add on that Jared Leto's weird cult thing he had going on in Croatia and the allegations of sexual misconduct made against him recently, I don't think there's a skincare brand we need less than this one. And last of all, we have another brand I had no idea even existed until now. Well, maybe Carmen Electra's GoGo Skincare. I don't know how I managed to miss hearing this, or maybe I did and just completely blanked it out because I don't know. But to be fair, it seems like a lot of people haven't heard of this brand either. At least Carmen Electra Creating a home skincare brand makes sense, right? It makes a lot more sense than Jared Leto, though. Not that it helped the brand do much better, as it only lasted about a year before disappearing. GoGo Skincare launched in November of 2020, with Carmen Electra saying that she wanted to share the skincare routine she'd been following for years. I think they actually reached out to me to send me some stuff, and I just didn't that's how I know, I just didn't reply. She apparently wanted to create something simple, natural, and easy for people to use, especially for anyone who don't want a complicated routine. In my opinion, that isn't anything special. I feel like this is how every celebrity tries to launch their skincare brand. But honestly, launching with 3 core products like Carmen Electra did kind of makes sense, like a 3-step system. They had the GoGo Glow, a serum with hyaluronic acid and vitamin C, which was supposed to soothe skin and improve the appearance of aging. It included ingredients like Optim Hyal, I've never heard of that before, but it's basically a skin smoothing agent, and B9 Vitapol, a fermented form of folic acid. Then there was the GoGo Awaken, a brightening eye cream aimed at reducing the look of dark circles, fine lines, wrinkles. It was an eye cream. Ingredients including things like Superox C, which supposedly handled the wrinkles and brightening, as well as Meal View, which increases collagen production and treats the visibility of dark circles. There are a lot of ingredients in this line that I've not heard of, and I'm thinking, are these just like trademarked clumps of ingredients together, like what's the word, you know, like patented formulas kind of thing. Anyway, and the GoGo Nourish, which was a face cream that claimed to improve hydration, rosacea, skin sensitivities, and to soothe the skin. This also used that Optim Hyal as well as Majestem, an active ingredient known to tighten and firm the skin. Now, the brand was heavily marketed as being clean, with no parabens, no sulfates, and nicely everything was vegan, cruelty-free, gluten-free, and Carmen claimed that she'd been following the same skincare regime for over 20 years and that it kept her skin healthy and glowing without the need for surgery, which is weird because, like, has she had these products for 20 years and she's just been sitting on them? Like, what does that even mean? She's been using this for 20 years. In what way? Like, in what way? I always think when a celebrity loves a brand so much, can you not just strike a deal with the brand? Why do you have to make your own? Because honestly, like, if that's what you've been using, just tell people you've been using that and it'll probably sell better than you trying to bullshit your own brand, you know? Anyway, but despite these claims, the brand just never really took off. I mean, Carmen Electra used to be a big name, right? But maybe her name just wasn't big enough anymore to compete with other celebrity brands. Maybe the marketing just didn't connect with consumers, or maybe the price was just a little too steep as well. I mean, the 3-step system would set you back $149, which isn't the worst we've seen when it comes to celebrity skincare lines. Whatever the reasons behind it, GoGo Skincare, a terrible name. GoGo Skincare sounds like, GoGo in general sounds like a breakfast bar or like a shake, you know, like you just go, take it with you. People just didn't care. They just weren't interested in what she was selling. The brand even launched a YouTube channel at the same time as launching the products to try and help promote them. And to this day, the most viewed video on there has just 245 views. That's terrible. And Instagram was a similar story, with their launch post just getting 835 views and 26 comments. And the brand's engagement just went downhill from there. That's terrible. I'd be embarrassed. I'd have to stop there. I'd be like, no. They actually stopped posting on Instagram regularly in July of 2021, with one post in October and their final post coming in November of 2021, which got a record-breaking 45 likes and 3 comments. Obviously, social media isn't everything, but in this day and age, failing to capitalize on your online audience usually means a celebrity brand isn't going to make it. You need those engaging videos, you need that virality, you need that buzz, but especially if they're only available online as well. You need it. You really need it. And that seems to be the biggest reason behind GoGo Skincare's failure. The marketing campaign just didn't reach enough people, and those that it did reach either didn't care or weren't interested in paying $149 for the products. But for her part, Carmen Electra claims that the brand didn't make it because she only had limited control over the brand and its management. It hasn't put her off running a beauty brand altogether though, seeing as she announced in May of 2025 that she's launching a new brand, Electra Skincare. It looks like they're doing pre-sale orders at the moment, but it's not officially out yet, I don't think. And talking about the new brand and her experience with GoGo Skincare, she says, "I look at it like a stepping stone and a big learning process." must have been a very expensive process. But apparently she has more control over this brand, despite creating it in partnership with Rudy Mauer of Mauer Capital, who's known for working on business ventures with other celebrities like Dolph Lundgren, Floyd Mayweather, and WWE wrestlers. It'll be interesting to see how that works. If I'm honest, the new brand sounds pretty similar to the old one though. Like it's a 3-step system again. Sure, it has different key ingredients, but it still has that same clean beauty ingredient, fear-mongering shit that the majority of people who are actually interested in skincare are over. So if we didn't need GoGo Skincare, I'm not sure why we're going to need Electra Skincare, I'll be honest with you. I guess we'll see if this new brand manages to connect in any way with consumers better than GoGo Skincare, but I kind of doubt it. Like, despite launching their Instagram page over a year ago, Electra Skincare only has 468 followers, with engagement that is worse than GoGo Skincare. And as far as I can tell, they don't have any other social media channels. So I do think it's safe to say that GoGo Skincare and Electra Skincare are both celebrity skincare brands that we won't miss and already won't miss. Sorry, Electra Skincare, it's just no. Watch it do amazingly well. And that rounds up today's video, but let me know what you think about the brands we talked about today. Did you use products from any of these brands? Was anybody shocked and annoyed by Item Beauty's disappearance? Because the products looked honestly pretty decent. Are you excited about Electra Skincare? Let me know in the comments down below. And oh, my friend met Jared Leto and said he stunk, by the way. I won't tell you which friend because I don't want her to get into trouble, but she was in close proximity with him. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video and I'll see you next time.